back again. Right, what do I have here? Right, this is this kit. Right, that's what this is. But I'm turning it into this. The Pavlo 3. And this thing has been bashing around for donkeys in my stash. What I call have a bit of a fiddle around every now and then. Now I had a spare set of Academy engine casings there, and I was going to replace the Revel ones, but there's not really too much point at the moment. But I'm still thinking of doing it. But all I'm thinking of doing is just cutting off the rear ends, because these rear ends here, they're a bit pants. I mean, you know, as at least for that one, I can get something. I think it's like a bit of tubing, maybe this bit. I don't know. Anyway, there was a bit of tubing I could get in there that I've got, and it'd act as the exhaust pipe, just to stick out slightly. As with those ones, there is no stop. It just, the bloody stuff, look, it just goes, whoops, straight in. So, there was a blanking plate that you put just behind there, but, oh no, it's just hassle. Anyway, this is what I've done so far. So I've got it all together. I've glued up the rear door. There's no interior in here. This joint on the bottom is bloody diabolical. The kit's so old, but it's got all raised rivets on it, and it's the only one with raised rivets. And it's these conversion sets are practically non-existent now. So, and you'll pay an awful lot of money for them, even if you do find it. Because I think Cutting Edge was the first one, if I remember rightly. Yeah, there you go. Cutting Edge, that was the first detail set I got. Then you had Landing Zone that did this part of the detail set, and then you had another one which I'll get all the paperwork. So there was a Cutting Edge one. They just had all your guns, just all your guns and your interior and a bit of outside, and then your radio stacks and your front seats. So that's that part. This part, you had all your tanks and that's this here. So you got some detailed pictures there to do the fluid turrets, EC antennas, zoom on a bit. Yeah, and then sponsors, attaching the tanks to sponsors, and then how it all works, pictures of the real thing, and then finally your paint guide, which came from, I think it was Sammy magazine. I think this thing came from, oh, Fine Scale Modeler. There you go. I knew it was one of the magazines, and that was your paint scheme. So you had all of that came with that, and then that was Cutting Edge. So looking at it, like I say, there's no interior, so I didn't bother using all the radio stuff. So all the radio stuff's in here. There's one of the fuel tanks, rear rotor. So there's your radio gear now. Probably in this day and age, this was all printed. It wasn't printed. It was all made via moulds, and they used to put these things in moulds and whatever, So it's don't get me wrong, it's nice for what it was, but you used to have to sand down the racks to get them thin, and of course they used to warp, bend, and it was hopeless. You'd be better off just chopping the boxes off, making your own rack and sticking the boxes on. But there's one that's reasonably flat still, but there was a big chunk of resin on the bottom there, and you had to like that on some sander and get it down flat. But they all just warped and twisted. There's your ammo boxes for your miniguns. But like I say, I haven't done any of that. These were your two pylons. Yeah, they're all right, but you know, they just looked a bit thick and clumsy. Cockpit wasn't much to look at really. That was your overhead, that was your dashboard, and that was your centre console. So that was in there. But these have all got to be painted again. This is when I used to do stupid painting years ago. There's your dashboard out the kit. So again, it was all done for the German one. I only got one of these, like Fleur Lantern, whatever the hell they are, pods. I've only got one, so I've got to make another one. Or I don't know. There's part of the guns. I don't know what part that is. Part where the tubes come out. So yeah. So anyway, it's all in there, and your bullet racks from ammo box to gun were made out of white metal, so you could bend them and twist them whatever way you wanted. And that's that. One of the boxes, two of the boxes, one of the gun stands for the doorway, but not on this helicopter. And then your chair, again, that was all white metal, the whole thing. So there we go. So that's what you had, and then obviously the bit that gets noticed the most out of all of it is this here, which is the front end. So you use the kit's glass, and then you stick this big chunk of resin on, and this is basically your flare pod. I presume that's some sort of radar, and then on here goes your fueling boom. But on all of that, on this white dot here, you have to put this searchlight, which I made out of brass and aluminium, and a little bit of plastic in the middle, and then put a mirrored, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see it changing colour. Kind of like reflective. I had some reflective paper sent to me from America, from a guy out there, a modeller out there, and he sent me a little postcard sheet size, so I only had a little dot of it, and yeah, it looks pretty cool for when that's painted up. So anyway, you have to, this is car body filler, Holt's car body filler. It sets quite quickly, but it's still like Play-Doh at the moment, and that's been sat there for 3 days now. So it might be just due to the fact that the car body filler is a bit old, but on the old side. But you have to build it up in there to get it to create a line there, because when you put this on this, you get a bit of a gap, as you can see. But it's not hard to fill that. It fits nice. It goes on well. It's a bit of a chore around the bottom, but do you know what? Modeller, ain't you? Get it done. But it's that's what it'll look like. And then also these pods where you got the rivet detail, I'm gonna sand that joint down, because I built this, crikey, when did I build this? Probably about 12 years ago I built this. Or should I say stuck it together. And basically what I did was I got the top lined up real nice, so that you didn't have to chav much off of it, which I haven't even touched it with a sander. So that line there needs taken out, but this line on the bottom, it was a bit off key, and of course you've got to sand that flat. Well, I'm thinking if I get a thinnish grinding wheel, or possibly even a grinding disc, and then just go over that to get rid of it, it might work. But I'll have to wait and see. And then these tabs that are on here, I've got them in there, but they snap. These are better off having a bit of metal, but I haven't got any metal here really to put in there. And then again with the tail end, this has been filled once. I filled it again and let the filler shrink, because you can see it's sunk in. And then there's a bit of filler on there because there's a little dip in the plastic. So it really does need a bit of TLC and a bit of sanding down. The backbone's all right till you get to here where the joins are, and then the tail still a bit of filler on, and then obviously I've got to do around here, but there's no rivet detail on this, so this is quite smooth. And then with the propeller rear rotor, I'm putting an aluminium axle through it, so that it just went on like that, but I've got to build that piece there that's missing there over there, which isn't hard. And then you're coming up to the main rotor section. This was always a pain in the butt because this is as smooth as a die, yeah, flat as you like, but you just got this mark that just doesn't want to go away. It's almost like it's I don't know, but you can't even feel it. I don't know why, it just keeps poking through. Got to breathe a hole there. I used a bit of plastic tube, and put over there. And I used a bit of plastic tube and a grill to go in there. The heat exchangers there, or not heat exchangers, what are they? They're like coolant pipes. That was aluminium, and the other two, which basically hold this cooler, they were plastic rod. Did the same for the other side, so plastic rod, and then aluminium tube on the bottom. So this bit was aluminium tube, bent to shape, to put in there. These are supposed to have some sort of radiator grills in. I couldn't find anything. I did used to have, years ago, some rib tape, which would have done the job perfect. But, as usual, it was something to do with the aircraft industry, and it was one of the fellow British Airways engineers that gave us it, because he knew I did modelling. He said, I've got some tape for you. It might be worth some seat belts. I said, oh, yeah, great. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, I ain't been able to get any since, so God knows where they got it from, but it was made by 3M, I do believe. There's a bit of, oh, it's come off. So then round here I've added a bit of card there, because that's just got to be sanded down a bit better, but there's a strengthening plate there. Don't know what that is. It's on the real thing, it wasn't on the kit. There's another plate there, but there's an ECM comes off of that. And it's the same with the other side. Strengthening plate there and the ECM plate there. Front hatch does exist. It's got a decal for that. These two grills. Not sure whether I've got any. I've got one of these, but it's the Academy one, obviously. The CH53 Super Stallion. And I got a fret set, it come with two grills. So these ones are very, very faint. They're not very, very proud grills. It looks like the moulding's so old that it's kind of disappeared a bit. So I might put them grills on there, because I know it's in my loft, but I've got to drag the entire loft out just to get to it. But it doesn't matter, because I've got a few other bits and bobs. Need to sand that down there, that little patch. Because the line, the fillers come up to the top of the line, and I've just noticed it disappearing there. So yeah, and then it's just a case of clean all the windows, tape them all up, and then he has his gunship grey on, and then I've got to build the main rotor. I did have one of the blades here, but it's not exactly small, because the bottom of the rotor hub is there. Again, not a very detailed rotor hub, but detailed enough, I suppose, but I can't find that rotor blade. You're right. Oh, here it is. Here, look, in plain bloody sight. I bet you lot are all going, it's behind you. Well, it's not. It wasn't behind me, but there. So that gives you some sort of size as to the span of what it will be eventually. And I had my photo taken. A mate of mine took me photo against, when I was leaning up against one at Fairford Air Show. We stayed virtually till the end, and I said, take a photo of me next to this, will you? Yeah, sure, yeah. What are you doing? You're going out over the fence. Buggered out. I went straight over the fence, stood against nose. Yanks were there, but they didn't care. It was just an enjoyable day. That's all it was for everybody. And yeah, great stuff. So there we go. So that's a CH53 being converted to an MH53, and I've been messing around with that kind of in the background for the last few days, trying to get myself back together into the swing of things, ready for the next video to do with the GR4. And I'm going to leave that out there because the next video on that GR4 is going to be a good one for all of those that like GR4 or tornadoes. And I'm going to not say any more. So that's that. The other thing I was pantsing around with, which I kind of oh, clear your throat, John. I tried to get into it. Was this kit? Hang on, let me move that light out of the way. I'll move this out of the way a bit there for a minute. Sit over there. But it was this kit. I've got this kit. And I was going through it, and I noticed that I was missing some parts. And then it wasn't until I went and had a proper look through the box that I was missing an entire sprue. And I thought, oh, this is just my luck, you know. So let me just put that over there for a minute. And we'll open it up, yeah. So I'll put that across there. So basically what it is I went through this, and that sprue there, the only bits you use off that sprue is that piece there for the tail, the guns, which are here, so you've got an assortment of guns, you use those, and there was one other, oh yeah, that was it, and this ammo box thing here that sits in the middle, right? So I figured to myself, how do I get a sprue? So looked on Facebook, social media, and up comes Academy Europe. Great. Text them, right? And I can't show you because it's on the phone. Text them, said, hello there, I've got this kit, beautiful looking helicopter, but this sprue's missing. Any chance I could get this sprue? Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. Not even a hello. Nothing. They've seen it because it comes up with their emblem when they've seen it. So I know they've seen it, but they're not even replied. I mean, I've had this kit sat around for quite some time, so maybe, you know, because I mean, this is as far as I've got with it. You know, I've done the hang on, let's zoom in a bit here. So I've done, you know, the cockpit to the best I could. Right? So it's quite nice. It's looking a bit. That's the trouble with black cockpits; they are black. And yeah. Let's put that light there. Right, so you can see the cockpit. So I've done the job on the cockpit. And then this ammo box is supposed to go in the middle. And then you got a gun pad there and a gun pad there, and you could have the guns go outside. And I thought to myself, right, okay, maybe we won't bother with the guns. So I thought, right. So you got your two seats, right? And they sit there, and the guns you can have out the windows. Well, can't build any of them guns because they're all on there. And I thought to myself, right, I've got another one of these kits, but it's not this one, it's the DAP. And I know in the DAP, there's everything. It's got every single sprue he's ever did, apart from that one. Because that one was for this kit. And I think there's some glass on here because you have to cut the doors off because they've got like a little bit missing out on them. So anyway, so this is how the thing looks. So you put this in there, and I've cut the doors out on it, and you know, and I thought to myself, how the heck am I going to get round this problem? So I looked in the DAP kit. Sure enough, it's got the sprue in there, and I'm thinking, right, okay, so if I nick that and nick the ammo box on one of the guns and just use one gun on this out of the kit, can I still make the DAP? And the answer was bloody no, because the DAP uses that rectangular. I thought to myself, this is. I'll tell you what, it never rains, it pours with me. And to the fact that these people have never come back to us, I think is pretty appalling, because, you know, we buy these kits. I mean, who's to say that, you know, you're going to end up with a kit with an entire sprue? I mean, I've never, ever had an entire sprue missing. I've had bits where they've come off and you're right, yeah, we'll send you a little bit in the back, but an entire sprue, and the thing is, they're all separately packaged in the kit, so they come in separate bags. But this thing it's just non-existent. And it's just, you know, it's peed me off a bit, because I'm thinking, right, I've got to ruin another helicopter just because somebody, and I've tried looking around to see whether I'm not so much worried about the gun, right, or the ammo box, but this piece here, this bit that goes on the tailplate. As a matter of fact, I did have the sprue that I need, that I nicked out the other kit. I thought I had it here. No, I haven't. I'll tell you what I did do. I cut this off of the other sprue. And I was looking around for one of these on the internet, and there are some people out there that actually sell on eBay sprues. They just buy the kit and then they flog the sprues for 20, 30 quid. And you've already got your kit money back in, you know, 2 sprues if you can sell them. Do you think I can find sprue G? Nope. Every other bloody sprue but sprue G. And I thought to myself, well, I don't know. So I don't know whether there's anybody out there that can do a resin or a 3D printed version of this. Just this is all I'd be happy with, because it means that I can then put, well, this one's out the DAP, and I don't, yeah, never rains, it pours. And I'm sure looking through, that was sprue G. This was the only thing. Let me just have a look here, because you go in and you can see there's the ammo box. There's all the bits if you wanted to put guns on the doors. That was all sprue G, because look, sprue G there, sprue G there. This is all sprue G, not these bits, just the guns, that fall there. No, there's no sprue G, any of that. See, all the rest of this I've got, but I've got to this section here, and I thought to myself, well, where's that, and where are they? And looking through the kit, you know, with eagle eyes, and nope, they're not there. So, and then you don't get, there's nothing else on there that's sprue G. Nothing. Nope, nothing on there. And then you get to the next part of the instructions. I don't think there's... Oh, and then you get, yeah, all of these things here. So you get the front bit there. But I found these on another sprue. So they're there. Where are they? So they're G12. So they're there, which is the old wire, they all are there. So there's 4 of them there. But then I went and found them on another sprue, which doesn't get a mention. So these parts here, that and that, I found them on another sprue. Just looking on here, it's not the best of. So you got your landing gear things there. There they are there. two of them there, 13 and 14. And then the two steady rods either side of that, I mean, you can make out of plastic rods. So those, I'm not too fussed about because I've got them there. But this, look, then G17, G16, which is this, right? Yeah, well, there it is. So I'm stuffed. I don't even think I've got, there's not another bit. There's not another bit of that in the box. It's with the DAP, you get that one and you get another one, which is of a different shape. But it doesn't come in this kit. Oh, yes, it does. There it is. There, look, 4 and 5. So you get them there. So you got to use them, but the only ones you get is that because I haven't got sprue G. That was the top part of the cockpit or the roof of the helicopter. So with I think that large lever is the rotor brake. I think it is. I don't know. I don't know much about Seahawks, but yeah. And I've got to put some cushions on the chairs because there's no cushions on there. Oh, sorry, Nigel. Oh, by the way, Nigel, hopefully you and Jess are getting on all right. Yeah, so there you go. And then you stick the guns in wherever they say. And then, see again, look, landing gear leg G. How am I going to do that if I haven't got a sprue G? If anyone knows how to get parts out of Academy, sprues, let us know, because it looks like this bloody thing ain't got no landing gear now, because I've got none of this. Oh, it's a pain in the arse. Make the kits. I know it's at a loss, and there are, Mickey takers that do just, tons of spare sprues all over the place, whatever. But, when somebody genuinely has got a kit and there's a sprue missing, the old story goes, these people have been taking the mick out of us for years and costing us money. We're not going to do spares anymore. Well, fair enough, but, now I'm bloody stuffed. So I've got a helicopter. This has all got to be painted up as well. Helicopter with no landing gear, no tail fingers. That belongs in the DAP kit that's behind me. And Academy Europe. I thought you would have, at least said hello, be polite. I know it all comes back in German, but it's what it is. Here's the other rear rotor. Something I don't know what I've actually put together, really, to be quite honest with you. Looking at it here, just getting rid of a few sprues here, just so everybody knows. Look, see, there's the other tailplane. You get that, and that's quite nice. That'll do for a good air ambulance. I mean, I can always turn the DAP into an air ambulance because look, you get all these sprues with the big long wings and the extra fuel tanks, which is what the air ambulance had, and all the bloody rows of seats in it. That's those other two things there that I was telling you about. You probably won't see it's fucking camouflaged here. Jesus Christ. So yeah, there's the other two bits that I'm not too fussed about because I've got them there. So they were on sprue G. There's a set of landing gear legs there, but unless they're the same on sprue G as they are here, I don't know. I mean, I could use them, but if they're different, then I'm stuffed again. And then you got another. God, look at it. And then you got this other sprue. This had all the rockets on, several radar FLIR bits, certain antennas, something as the sat-nav ones, and then these little small wings, which you have to build, and then they go on the side, and they hold the rockets in there, like that. Not quite like that, that's where they're going in. Like that. Whoop, anyway. and then there. So there's the doors you get with the kit that you have to cut out. And that's the door you have to replace it with. So they are different. Totally different. Different window, different handle position. Riveting around the outside. And the other thing you've got as well is you've got that. And that sits on there. So you have to cut that section out, which is a little bit, which I did with a knife and then a razor saw. And then that section goes in there like that. It's an absolute blinding helicopter. It really is nice. It's a big 1/35 chunky thing. I mean, if you've got one, you'll know exactly what I mean. You know, it really is a nice helicopter. And I thought to myself, you know, I don't really do many helicopters. I had when I was living in the other place, the flat. Still living in a flat, but when I was living in the other one at Warlingham, I had a Kiowa that I was doing. And well, they don't belong in there. And I thought, yeah, you know, I'll get this done anyway. We then got word we had to move to here, and so that kind of kiboshed it, put a hold on everything. So there was no didn't finish it. So it's over on the cabinet behind us. But you know, this thing. You know, I mean, you could actually go to town because you could rebuild the roof in there, because the roof and the floor are full of, you know, panel holes and God knows what. But I mean, when it goes together, I mean, it's bloody solid. You know, it's a great kit. Push it down and the floor goes in. Now, what you will have to do is I had to make out of angle the bits that go in the bottom there, because obviously you don't see right, because otherwise if you put it in you see right through the floor, and all that front bit is glass, all that bit there. So yeah, you know, and then you get your chaff and flare dispenser grab holder there. With the Pavlo version of this, they did one up, one facing down, but you only get the one. So yeah, but you can make a good SH60 out of it. Not this kit, but when they actually do one, they actually do a Pavlo version, which I've got, which is built but not finished. And it's funny because I found a box of bits to it the other day as well in the garage when I was moving my garages around. So that was kind of everything got in the way as such. But anyway, there it is. That's another helicopter that I'm doing, and I've just been kind of using them to get myself back into the swing of things, ready for when I do get back to that tornado field, which will be good. And then on the 14th of May, I'll be at the St Albans, the Mosquito Museum model show. So if any of you are going there, look out for me. I'll be dressed in a hoodie. Oh God, I've got it here. I rescued it from my bag. So when you see that, that'll be me. No, what will be wearing the 12 Squadron hoodie. Whoops. So yeah, 12 Squadron. Yeah, the Fox. Ginger bastard. Right. So that's the 14th for me. That's in a couple of weeks' time. And I shall have both my repaired Tornadoes there. I don't know whether the 12 Squadron one I'm doing now for YouTube, I might take it just so people recognise it, but have a look and see what it's all about. But yeah, I'll be there. That's the main thing. So I'm going to say it again. Take care, guys and girls. Enjoy the weekend. And I will see you in the next one.